now that it's here, how special is it to be one of these 5 games on Christmas Day?
I mean, it's a great opportunity to compete. That's the way that we're looking at it, and obviously it's a heck of a challenge for us. It's going to be a heck of an environment. Knicks are playing really well, and we've got to focus on the things that we can do well to play against them.
How do you approach this matchup against the Unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis?
I mean, we've played him a bunch. He's a really good player. He's got a chance to continue to grow and be one of the better players around, certainly. But they've got a lot of good players on this team, so it's not just one person. They're a team that can beat you a number of different ways. And again, we're going to have to be really good today.
The way Isaiah's been scoring in the fourth quarter, do you change anything in the fourth to try to take advantage of that?
I mean, he's obviously started the last few fourth quarters. Try to get him a quick break somewhere in there, but I'm not. Of all the things that I think we really need to focus on, I'm probably not as worried about that because he's found different ways to be impactful. I think the biggest thing is that we just need to keep trying to be the best version of ourselves on both ends of the court all the way throughout the game, all 48 minutes. And I think for the most part over the last few weeks, we've done a pretty good job of that.
Coach, from a scouting perspective, how would you say this Knicks team has improved since the last time you guys played them?
Well, I think everybody's a little bit different than they were a month ago. I think that's probably pretty usual when you talk about the season. But, from what I see, obviously, when they're all healthy and all firing, they're awfully good. I mean, you've got Rose and Jennings' ability to get into the paint, Carmelo's ability to score any number of ways and in isolation, and then obviously Porzingis, who we talked about, and they kill people on the glass. And so we're going to have to be really good in that area, or at least manage that for us to be successful today. But I thought the Pacers game the other day was a great example. Pacers are up 15. It looks like they're going to go their way, and then Melo and Porzingis went nuts, and then they made really tough shots. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, but you got to make it as difficult as possible all game.
So, seeing this Knicks team with Fisher the last couple of years, what's different, if anything, about this offense that Jeff's running this year?
No, I mean it's totally different, right? I mean I think that it's similar to what Jeff did in Phoenix, from what I can see, and they certainly have some things that they've done in the past that they especially do out of timeouts, or occasionally off of an action early on. But the thing I'd say about it, and I really felt this a couple of years ago when Derek was here, the group towards the end of that first year he was here was really playing hard and was really getting after guys. And I thought that continued throughout last year, has certainly continued itself throughout this year. And when you add guys like Rose and you add guys like Jennings to already complement Porzingis and Anthony, I mean, they're going to be better. So there's a mindset that is really good, it seems like, from the outside looking in.
Brett, a lot of players and coaches brought families. What did you guys do last night to celebrate, and why is that important?
Well, we've been on, we've only had, I think, 2 nights at home since December 2nd. So it hasn't been an easy month on a lot of our players or coaches. So we wanted to bring as many as we possibly could with us. And from being around us, that's pretty typical. We have little ones running around the bus and the plane all the time. But it's really important that all of our players and coaches' families feel part of it, because it is a time-consuming job, and certainly on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, we wanted to make that something that we prioritized.
Brett, after further review, what did you take from the Thunder game? Besides
Sweet shots, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our moments that we could have controlled. Like we gave up a few plays that I thought were that we could control and be a little bit better, and maybe we had a play or two that we didn't execute great. But you know what? Tip your hat to that guy. He made a bunch of plays and against really good defenders. And that's part of this league, is that there are going to be times that really good players make those plays, and you just have to make it as tough as possible so that you give yourself a chance in those moments. And I thought our guys did, and I said it the other night, like our guys played really hard Friday night, especially coming off of the 5-day trip. I was really pleased with how we played and not losing any sleep over those few shots that Westbrook made at the end of the game.
Coach, you're throwing a lot of different combinations out there, some new lineups. How much of that is an effort to kind of limit some of the minutes or preserve a few more minutes on the bench for guys like Horford and Isaiah?
Yeah, we got to do some of that with especially again the schedule that we've been on. I think that it's important from a big picture perspective to make sure that we are doing the minute thing appropriate. But we need those guys out on the court as much as they can be. But at the same time, I think that I feel good about some of the lineups that have played, and I feel good about some of the productivity we've gotten from other guys on the bench, and we're going to continue to trust those guys.
When you have such a tough schedule, what's the most important thing to keep energy level consistent on a nightly basis?
You gotta love challenges. You look at everything through an 82-game schedule as a challenge, and our guys love challenges.
Any changes in the starting lineup?
No.